All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Igor Mikalev, broadcasting here from sunny Amsterdam. I'm from Blueshift, and it's 26 questions with Igor.
Register on MEXC today and you'll get 20% off your trading fees by using the QR code that you see here or the link in the description box. There's a plethora of opportunities with which you can earn additional income. Our Kickstarter program, Launchpad, MEXC DeFi, M-Day, all of that is waiting for you, so go ahead and get started now. Also, don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button.
Hi, Igor, and we have also Igor Struchkov today with us. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, doing quite well. As you see behind my back, the sun is shining. We are live several days on MEXC with our token, so everything is going smooth.
Awesome. Yeah, glad to have you both here on the interview. Our community had a lot of questions on Twitter. We chose the top 20 that they would like to hear your answers to. They would like to learn more about the project, like, basically the in-depths of what you guys are going to give them and possibly, become your new avid followers. So if you're ready with the questions, I can go ahead and we can jump right in.
Certainly, let's dive in.
Nice. Question number 1. What's the meaning behind your project name, Blueshift?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, Blueshift is an astronomical concept which is based on this effect that celestial objects produce when moving either towards or away from each other. So the more they move towards each other, the faster the light is traveling towards the observer, and then it shifts towards the bluish wavelength, as opposed to going apart, then it's more of a redshift. So in our case, it signifies the collision of several galaxies. It's the galaxy of existing Cardano-based liquidity and existing solutions. It's Blueshift entering the Cardano space on top of Milkomita, and it's what we call DeFi 2.0, which innovates a lot the way things used to be done in existing DeFi.
I must admit that's one of the most deepest, profound names that I have heard for a project. So astronomy, is it your hobby, or is it specialized? Do you have some kind of a degree in that, or just something that came to your mind unexpectedly? What's the deal behind that?
Yeah, no, we have a few people, of course, aspired astronomers, as you might put, or physicists. So surely in our team, there's enough followers and subscribers, if you will, towards this concept. And also Milkomita themselves, they are named after the collision of galaxies, so Milky Way and Andromeda. So we are building on top of this Cardano-based concept. And also Charles Hoskinson himself, he's aspired scientist, he's also a mathematician. So we just want to be following, let's say, what the community thinks and finds interesting, and what we find interesting as well.
See, makes sense. Okay. Well, thank you for explaining that one. Moving on with question number 2. How do you imagine that Blueshift can change people's lives?
There's a lot of this question. I of course love to dive into all this, banking the unbanked and whatnot. But in the very beginning, we'll be changing people's life by making DeFi more accessible, making it safer to invest. And why? Well, this is because unlike traditional DeFi and DEXs, we're not anymore talking about pairs of tokens, which is a bit of an inconvenient and unnatural to grasp concept, but we are introducing so-called liquidity portfolios. And similarly, as the world of stocks and traditional stock trading was revolutionized by the introduction of index funds, liquidity portfolios in DeFi, which we introduce, will let people invest safer with only one token towards an entire portfolio based on their risk and reward performance that they expect. And this will let them become more enlightened and more, hands-on investors when it comes to DeFi, right? As opposed to being sort of afraid to stake towards a pair that's potentially volatile or can go away entirely the next day.
Question number 3. Can you explain why you guys think that your solution is a step forward in the whole AMM DEX sphere, and how do you know what are the trade-offs?
Yeah, so I think you can look at trade-offs from several perspectives. The easiest one, as we just mentioned, is trade-off between, profitability and opportunities that solution brings and the user experience. So we resolve the trade-off by introducing several things, such as single-sided token liquidity, virtual pairs, internal price oracles, decentralized portfolios, right? So things that sort of disconnect that notion of portfolio from the prices. So now prices and portfolio itself, logics, they are two separate things. But also we offer simplified, more accessible user experience and better performance overall in the world of AMMs, right? So on one hand, it is cheaper to invest, it is easier to invest, you save money, the impairment loss is lower. But on the other hand, it's also some of the deeper innovations that allow you as a crypto trader or crypto investor to be better overall in the space.
Okay. Does Blueshift have any strategic partnerships in the crypto world, and can you name a few?
Yes, certainly. Well, to name a few, our partners are some of the juggernauts, I would say, in space. These are Shima Capital, Wave Financial, Next Chimia, right, so our Japanese partners. But also we have, of course, Occam.fi, the incubator in the space that helps us to reach scale currently.
Blueshift looks like a very international project. Can you give us an overview of Blueshift's team?
Yeah, I'm personally based in Amsterdam, same as some of other team members, but Blueshift is located officially in Estonia, where we have the majority of the development efforts currently undertaken. And Occam.fi's launchpad, so people that help us right now to reach scale and work with us on a daily basis, are based out of Switzerland and have strategic partners in the US, Asia, and Europe overall.
Very nice. What role do you think Blueshift will play in making blockchain highly adaptable in the worldwide stage?
Yeah, good question. So first of all, we bring DeFi to the next level, as we mentioned several times. We believe that DeFi 1.0 was more about swaps and token pairs, which are not so much native to a human's understanding of investment and trading. And while in our case, we focus on portfolios, similarly as crypto index funds managed by DAO. So you can think a little bit like, hey, it's an index fund which you're used to seeing in the space of traditional stock trading, but now it's managed by DAO and it's based on a number of crypto tokens, right? So it's a DAO-based cryptos selected by the DAO, which are being invested by various investors. And of course, on the other side of the story, you can trade. And essentially, we provide a sort of one-stop service to our users for tokens from different chains, and they're grouped in portfolios. So it's not only risk-reward type of considerations that you can think of when you're investing, but also it's a convenient way to enter a portfolio of reviewable assets selected by professionals, which comprise different things from multiple chains. This is not something that exists elsewhere.
Question number 7. Could you tell us more about your project and what it means by a new capital efficient AMM?
Yes. So think about automated market makers as algorithms that manage liquidity on platforms. So since we don't have token pairs, but portfolios, liquidity should not be spread across, X times Y number of pairs. Hence, it can be used entirely at once very efficiently, right? So we have one pool, and then when you do your swaps or when you do other capital-related operations, you don't have to anymore search for a specific pair. So the entire liquidity is grouped in a portfolio, and we allow access to this liquidity for every operation. So combined with other innovations, such as internal price oracles, because we would need to unlink that price from a fraction of token versus another token in the portfolio, our algorithm is able to manage liquidity in a more efficient way while also reducing the risk for users.
Okay, outstanding. Question number 8. Can you please explain your key characteristics that differentiate your project from other projects, and what are the competitive advantages you have for Blueshift?
Some of the most advanced technologies established by other DEXs, for example, smart order routing. So smart order routing allows for access to different capital pools and different portfolios at the same time on various projects. And our index fund, crypto index fund portfolio is managed by DAO. It is sitting on top of a similar solution and allows for more technological innovations, such as, again, single-sided token liquidity, virtual pairs, internal price oracles, Blueshift's reserve model, and a controllable minting schedule of Blues tokens. And this reserve model that I was mentioning, it enables arbitrageurs to perform arbitrage with zero negative fees, Virtual pairs facilitate the lowest possible slippage and many arbitrage opportunities, whilst liquidity portfolios reduce impairment loss and facilitate convenient usage for the users themselves.
Okay. Do you have any NFT plans and its integration ahead in the roadmap? Also, do you have any passive income options and incentivization rewards for long-term holders?
Absolutely. So we are, as we speak, thinking about several major opportunities for our users with our partners, which are bridges and other key players in the space. So talking about NFTs, there are no immediate NFT plans, but it's certainly an area that we are considering for future developments. In general, we really appreciate any feedback on how we can create more value for our users. So we have the core innovation that we have developed from scratch. It's not a copycat project or whatnot. It is something that we are bringing to the market, and we want to, on top of this capital liquidity management core, we want to build layers and layers and layers of useful functionality. So if our community believes that NFT, let's say NFT marketplace or NFT price discovery option is interesting, well, we can think about implementing it and eventually build it, because in the end, what we're building is for people. So if people believe so, we can build it. Yeah, and for long-term holders, we provide some great passive income opportunities, including staking of Blues, farming, liquidity provision with impermanent loss reduction up to 10x. Yeah, lastly, external protocols APY.
Very, very well. Can you move Blueshift into another blockchain in the future? For example, if gas prices get lower for Ethereum. That's very unlikely though, but yeah, let's imagine that would happen. I mean, the gas prices would get lower for Ethereum, I mean.
Right. Well, it's almost a political discussion. So how interesting it is to see, watch that space and see what's happening there. It's hard to predict. But well, since we're launching on Milk Medium, gas prices are not really a concern for us at this moment. However, when it comes to the integration of other blockchains, this really will be the case. We do want to launch top of Ethereum, but we want to use Arbitrum to save people's money, basically. We also want to launch on BSC, Avalanche, Solana, and afterward on other EVM compatible chains. We have actually developed the foundation of our protocol in Cardano Plutus. So Haskell development is something that we are well versed in, and we've done quite a bit of things there. So once it gets up to speed with what users expect in terms of usability, speed of transactions, and cost, we will also develop Cardano native features for Blueshift.
Very well. Blueshift has accomplished a great deal in commercial partnership and business development projects. Will new projects be added to them in the near future?
So yeah, well, building partnerships in the emerging ecosystem is for us the key to drive innovation and create value for our users. For example, there will be portfolios coming up that are co-branded and co-developed with other established players in the field. You'll see them coming out actually as early as tomorrow. We also have requests from other projects to license our innovative IP and launch their new protocols on the basis of it, right? Because as I was mentioning, our project is not a copycat of XYZ swap, right? So it's an entirely new concept that we have developed to innovate the field, and it's working and it's scaling now. So we have many interested parties coming up to us and saying, well, can you actually sort of allow us to white label your IP with our project and build on top of it. So we're thinking right now about how to approach it and how to help the community and the ecosystem to be scale with our thinking, but by somebody else's hands.
Got it. Besides the roadmap, how do you envision Blueshift in 2025?
Well, essentially, we want to become the #1 platform for providing the most convenient and most user-friendly multi-chain investing and trading experience. A strong community and their view on the constant deployment of new innovations is what we think will assure the future of Blueshift. So community building and being useful to our community in many ways, educational, finance-wise, safe, and so forth, is really paramount to our success, we think. So in a similar vein, as Cardano looks at innovating the traditional world of business and finance, we also want to invest essentially and at some point in fiat/CBDC integration and deliver innovative use cases for traditional FI industry. And, if at some point regulation will come after the world of DeFi and say, well, many things would need to be KYC'd, KYT'd. We are also ready for this. And we know that Cardano has been working for a while on different identity solutions, which are applicable for our use cases, so that we are well prepared, and eventually we are happy to work with community as well as with the regulators to build a safer but same time free world of DeFi.
Okay. Question number 13. Can you share more about the benefits of being a shifter and the ways in which we can help the project out? Is shifter a term that you guys use within your community, or is the viewer just came up with this?
Both. So yeah, I think it evolved naturally somehow, and we use it in our communities now. People like it. People picked it up, so we're using it for our community members. So that's how we call them. So, you can have the greatest technology, but it's not perceived as valuable for users. There is something wrong. So that's why we want all the feedback, all the suggestions, all the recommendations that our community can bring to us to make Blueshift their product of choice and help them scale it together with us. We actually believe a lot in, enlightened capitalism, if you will, and being able to share with the users. So I really believe that users should be partly the owners. You, of course, all heard of this concept of fair launch, which we played with quite a bit. So maybe that's a little bit extreme, or that's maybe a little bit, let's say, naive. But a form of it is what we believe we should be practicing with our community. So whoever is delivering enough value into the protocol and whoever is delivering certain remit, if you will, should be enjoying benefits in various forms. And that's what we stand for. So that's essentially the benefit of being a shifter. Yeah, and right now we have multiple channels of interaction. We have ambassador programs. We have dedicated community managers to have your voice heard. So don't hesitate to reach out and work with us directly, if you will. We seriously evaluate each and every request, and if needed, we help you or we solve your problems together with you. Yeah, so also I think you can share a link towards an ambassador program. Please apply and you'll be considered.
Yes, for sure. We're going to drop the link down in the description box so if you guys are interested in the ambassador program, or if you'd like to stay up to date with all the releases and events of Blueshift, make sure that you follow their social media also in the description box. Okay, great. What is your project strategy to survive in this blockchain marathon? Is everything going according to the roadmap?
Yeah, so far it is, because it's not our first serious project. So we know what to expect from the market. Well, essentially, you can expect anything. So you have to be prepared. You have to work with scenarios. So we practice scenario planning with ourselves and our partners. So our strategies are not sort of one directional. They are always multiple of different steps, milestones towards final outcome, which is also fluid at times. But so far, everything is going according to the plan. So the technology has been successfully deployed, which is what you can see, the mainnet now. The IDO has been closed, listing on MEXC has been successfully done, and the community gets more and more excited every day. So all the key bits and pieces are in place. Yeah, so in the future, it will be important to further build on the community, produce technological innovations as we have been doing for a while, facilitate the adoption of blockchain and DeFi solutions by a broader audience, truly democratize the world of DeFi, but also make a step towards helping the centralized finance, the world of CeFi, to innovate themselves.
Speaking of the listing of the Blues token, we're going to drop also the link down in the description box if you guys are interested in trading. Yeah, you can go ahead and do so. Not financial advice, just for anyone who wants to get the token. There will be a link in the description box. And by the way, speaking of the name Blues token, when I first saw that name, I thought that you guys are associated with music or something, like playing blues or something like that. Just my first impression, just when I opened up the website. Question number 15, marketing is a central element for every project. What is your strategy to attract new users and investors to your platform and keep them long term?
Our marketing approach is value-based and data-driven. Of course, every project wants to be heard a lot. Every project wants to have all the noise and the hype around them. But this is a short-lived strategy generally. So we believe that messages we send out should be reflected by true value and underpinned by product that we're developing. So we are toning our messages very often towards a longer term value that we are bringing to the community. Yeah, so that's in a nutshell how marketing works. So credibility and trust, they play basically very important roles here. Co-branding strategies is what we apply as well with our partners. So you can see that we have multiple announcements with partners going on that are considering also their perspectives on the world of DeFi and the introduction of our protocol on top of Cardano, Milkomita. So multiple different things, but all in all, it's value-based and strictly driven by product that we develop.
Will you also focus more on the Asian market as it harbors a very strong base for cryptocurrency projects?
Yeah, so we absolutely will focus on Asia. And right now we have several community ambassadors to be interested in bringing us towards a broader audience in China and Japan. We have one of our key investors, a Japan-based Cardano co-founder that wants to help us in this direction as well. So absolutely, we think that Asia is very much of a market that we'll be betting on a lot in the coming months.
Question number 17, what are the key milestones on your roadmap, both things you have already achieved and things that we can look forward to?
Yeah, so as I was mentioning, we have technologically have been successful for a while. So we have deployed our innovations, we developed them, we tested them, they work well, they scale. You heard a lot today about single-sided liquidity portfolio and provision of liquidity with only one token, virtual pairs, index fund-like functionality that's managed by a DAO, where you heard about Blueshift's reserve model. It allows for lower impairment loss and price slippage. But what's coming in is, first of all, a DAO-based mechanism to be properly decentralized. As I think you heard, decentralizing everything from day one to 100% is not a workable strategy. So therefore, we started small, but as we go, we want to give it more and more back towards the community. So a DAO-based mechanism, a set of mechanisms that will be managing our protocol is the next step. Community will be able to vote on portfolio managers, so we'll be able to elect them, and portfolio managers will be able to actually replace or change composition of every portfolio. Right? So same as traditional, again, index funds are using different mechanisms to rebalance their portfolios. Yeah, another important aspect of the constant integration is introduction of new blockchains, new tokens, new portfolios, bridging them, working with new bridging providers as well. So business-wise, we've completed our IDO, we've completed listing on MEXC, and it will be followed by increasing our presence on more exchanges, centralized as well as decentralized.
Question number 18. Has your project been fully decentralized? Will there be any risk of centralization in the future?
That's a good question. I met that consideration in multiple projects that we ran. The first idea would be like, hey, you are in the world of DeFi, why don't you decentralize everything from day one fully? Well, right. But this maximalist perspective doesn't really work, because then it becomes unmanageable. It's very easy to deploy something that will never be supportable or usable. You can't pivot anymore. And this is not what you want when you are testing the waters. This is not what you want when you are scaling. So, and this is actually something that Anderson Horowitz have been writing about for a few years. We follow what is called in the industry progressive decentralization, which means step by step giving control towards community and having it less and less centralized, right? So everything that is now, of course, critical to the protocol is already decentralized, but we want to have it even more decentralized, more fair, more democratic when it comes to making decisions. And all of this will be coming in on the basis of merit, on the basis of who delivers what into the protocol. Yeah, and well, as I mentioned, community here is critical, and this is why we are so adamant on working with the community and ambassadors as we speak.
Got it. That totally makes sense. You cannot be decentralized from day one, and just even probably technically impossible just to launch and not be involved and let the system handle itself. There's still some human involvement no matter how decentralized the system is. Any decentralized DEX out there or any application still has a human component to it.
Well, honestly, I tried it once. We tried it. We've launched once a product on the basis of day one fair launch, 100% ownership by the community, and it was a cool idea. Super crypto maximalist style, but it didn't work, understandably. But well, maybe one day when everything will be definable from the very beginning, it will be working for simple scenarios, but not for what we are developing now. So in this case, we have to be carefully following step-by-step decentralization.
Right. Or maybe when EI will merge with the blockchain, as there have been many attempts in the crypto world to do so, then the AI would be able to handle that. But yeah, that's a very far-fetched idea into the future, at least as it seems from now. Question number 19, what gives the value to Blues, and what is the role of it in your ecosystem? What can users do in the Blueshift ecosystem while using Blues?
Yeah, so akin to how we discussed, now decentralization is being made more and more progressively ingrained in every detail of our protocol. Value of Blues and the utility of Blues is also increasing with time. So now the primary purpose of Blues is to enable the DAO management approach towards liquidity portfolios. Of course, as a member of the DAO, you'll be able to decide on critical elements of the protocol. You'll be able to decide on critical milestones of the protocol, which leaves you better off with your token. Right, so it's a clear concept, I think. And owning Blues will offer holders with voting weight proportional to the Blues they have, clearly. So basically, in other words, Blues allows participation and governance of the platform in the ecosystem. And with all the momentum that we have here, decision-making right in this ecosystem in itself is going to worth quite a bit, and it's increasing day by day. Currently, in monetary terms, Blues holders also receive, let's say, approximately 72% of APY through staking.
Very well. And the last question for today, Igor, is why did you choose to partner with MEXC?
So, MEXC, first of all, is very committed and forthcoming from the very first conversation onwards. I have been totally enjoying talking to colleagues from MEXC. It was really a conversation which was carried out by multiple people, but all of them were aware of what we are trying to achieve. All of them were in sync. All of them were like one team working towards the milestone that we have, basically the listing itself. And it's been extremely helpful. Many things were resolved on the spot, super, let's say, transparent, unlike some of the other exchanges. And we believe it's a very powerful partnership in the end that has evolved in a very short time, which is unique. Yeah, and of course, in the combination with MEXC's large user base and their competitive position in the market, it's a great choice for us.
Very well. Yes, and we are glad to have you as a part of our platform. And thank you for expressing your interest in this partnership. So that was 20 questions from the community to you. Guys, if you saw your question on the screen, that means you are the lucky winner and your question has been chosen. So what you can do is follow the instructions in the description box to get your reward. Now, Igor, it is your turn to ask your 6 questions back to the community so they can do their research and earn additional rewards. Whenever you're ready, please go ahead.
So the first one is, how many times lower can the permanent loss be on Blueshift? Well, question 2, how many times lower can the price slippage be on Blueshift? Question 3, which pairs of tokens can be traded on Blueshift? Question 4, what innovative features make Blueshift stand out? Question 5, what are the key features of Blueshift's portfolio management approach? Question 6, why is Blueshift an asset management tool?
Very well. Yeah, guys, if you feel like earning additional rewards, do your research, comment down below. We will review the answers. If your answer is correct, you'll get an additional reward. That wraps it up for today. Thank you both for coming. Yes, it was a pleasure to learn more about Blueshift, and I'm sure our community will appreciate it a lot. I wish you nothing but success going forward with your project. And hope that we could reconnect sometime in the future and do this again.
Absolutely. The pleasure is all ours. Thanks very much, Mark. Thanks, viewers, and get in touch with us. Let's stay connected.
Have a good one.
Cheers. Bye-bye.